Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 23rd of April, and we now have 3 days, 2 whole days before our festival, hence the goodie bags behind me, which are now pretty much stuffed, although I did get some more bookmarks today, flyers today to go in them. So I feel that they are, our goodie bags and myself are very good friends, intimate now, because I've been adding bits to them for the last couple of weeks or so. And we're here to talk about pen names, which will be really interesting because we both use a pen name. And so I shall say what I use, and then Beth will talk about her pen name. So I use Morgan Bailey. So Morgan Bailey is my crime name, crime fiction and non-fiction. And I write as Rachel Cavanagh for my women's fiction. Although Morgen, as H.J. Fell pronounces me, Morgan Bailey is a non-gender specific name. So I could use it for my crime and my women's fiction. But I decided before I wrote, or as I was writing the serial series, that I would use a different name. And now I'm kind of thinking that perhaps I shouldn't. So Beth, we all know you as Beth. What made you go for a pen name for your
I felt that I needed a pen name when I started publishing fiction because I am published and I have written several textbooks as my real name, Beth Rogers. Here is an example. If it will show on the screen, it probably won't, but
We got a
just
little bit at the bottom there.
the
Got a little
bottom,
bit of it.
yes. If I put it right in front of my face, you might be able to see
No,
it.
no, that doesn't work either. Never mind.
Yeah, so
Mind.
Dr. Beth Rogers,
No.
my academic persona,
Mm,
is out there, and I thought, well, it's it's a fairly common name, but nevertheless, if I started writing fiction with that same name, and algorithms were picking up the fantasy book and short stories alongside these textbooks, that could be very confusing for people searching on me as author.
sure.
Um, so I thought, well, the sensible thing is to use a pen name
Mm,
for my fiction.
right.
Interestingly enough, some of my readers have said, well, maybe you should have a different name for the fantasy genre and a different name for short stories because they know that a lot of authors do have that. I have a contact who uses separate pen names per genre.
Okay.
So she's one thing for romantic fiction, one thing for young adult, and so on.
Right. See that
Um,
the thing I've learned about having two names, and I forgot. I don't know why because it's my first love, but I write short stories. They're flashes and shorts. Um, Short stories as Morgan Bailey. So really everything other than the women's fiction. And you kind of think because they're red covers that they'd be, although red can be crime, that you'd think, and they've got women on one with a laptop and one with cooking gloves on, that you'd think you can tell what genre it is from what you're looking at. Um, but I can't imagine having any more than two names because I forget about Rachel. And I
uh-huh.
think sometimes if I put something up, it then happens to appear on Rachel Cavanagh as well. But
Hmm.
it's tough enough to market one name.
Yes.
Whereas, and I'm guessing your textbooks sell themselves because if people are looking for a particular topic, they're not necessarily thinking about who it's written by, just that it's written by somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yes, it is different in that respect. It is topic driven. Although I think it does help if there is somebody who's got a kind of track record of writing textbooks, rather than, the trouble with sales is that a lot of people will just effectively write their memoir of success as a salesperson.
Mm.
Whereas my books, of course, are academically researched. And I mean, yes, it's nice to use anecdotes and examples, but the messages are heavily evidenced.
Mm. Because there are some authors back in the day. Sophie Kinsella wrote as Madeline Wickham. I can't remember. Oh yes, Joanna Trollope was also Caroline Harvey.
Hmm.
Ruth Rendell's thrillers, she wrote as Barbara Vine. Yay, we should have John joining us in a second, which would be great. He's from New Street Authors in AKA David Wake's group in Birmingham, which would be great. And he came into the chat and I sidearmed him into, and him and Tim into one of the sessions a week or so ago. I lose track of what's on when. The weeks go so quickly. Yes, we were talking about Barbara Vine, Ruth Rendell. He's just asked me for the passcode.
E.D. James.
Yes. Oh, yes, PD James. So PD James, I don't know. Did she use
Ellis Peters. Was she Ellis Peters as well?
oh, was she? Okay.
Um, I don't know. That though Ellis Peters was also somebody else, and I know P.D. James was also somebody else. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, it could be. PD Ellis Peters was Cadfile.
hmm.
Was he, she? Hello, John.
Hello, I got there in
Hi.
the end.
Um,
Lovely to see you. You haven't missed much. We've just been talking about the why that who we are. So I write more crime fiction, non-fiction about writing, and short stories as Morgan Bailey. But I use a pen name, Rachel Cavanagh, for my women's fiction. And because it's so complicated or so time consuming to market as one name,
Yeah.
I'm now considering losing Rachel Cavanagh.
Oh,
Or
don't be silly.
I just get better at, if I paste on one, to paste on another.
Hmm.
And sometimes it does it automatically because it is all linked together. And then we were talking about the people who established writers who have used pen names. So Ruth Rendell thrillers were no crime was Barbara Vine thrillers. I think I've got
Right.
that the right way around. Um, Joanna Trollope was Caroline Harvey, although I think that was both women's fiction, but I don't know. Maybe one was maybe Joanna Trollope was literary, given her heritage, but I don't think so. I think that was women's fiction. And yes, and Beth was saying that she uses BB Elsin for her fiction,
Right.
and her real name for textbooks, non-fiction textbooks. But a friend of hers is considering. Did you say considering using different names for different things?
no,
She
no,
does already.
she does already write
Right,
in, I think it's three genres, and she has
right,
different names for each.
right.
Okay.
She must have a way of keeping
Changing
track
hat.
of. Yes, yeah. I understand it, especially if you're writing completely different genres. So, say if I went to fantasy, whereas everything is contemporary. But John, you write children's books. Do you write as something else? Do you write another
Yeah.
genre, or
Children's, I write in my name.
yes?
And then for the more adult books, I use
Ah, right.
Ah, okay.
another name, which basically is my initials and surname,
Okay.
Jay Seymour.
Oh,
Ah,
clever.
ah.
Oh, Seymour,
That's
yeah.
clever. Well,
So,
I did consider, I don't know if I should say this, but we're not made, I never tick the made for kids box. I like the idea of writing something a bit Terry Pratchetty because I love humour. I love writing humour.
right.
and that kind of different world kind of thing. And so I probably would need another name. I don't know. And I thought perhaps of using the name, the first name Ben, and then the second name Dover, if you say that quickly. But then I thought maybe not. And I think there is a Ben Nova.
You know what people's expectations might be if you.
Well, that's very true. Yes. If I were writing H.J. Fowles erotica, then maybe.
Yeah.
Then maybe. But no, I think that idea
reminds me of the Captain Pugwash thing. That was.
Oh, of course, yes, Captain Pugwash.
Oh, yeah.
Names in there.
Names, yeah.
Yes.
Roger the dog.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a bit naughty, aren't they?
Mm.
There was one of the sessions we had recently, and I can't remember. I'm trying to rack my brains who it was, but somebody said that having books with initials like J.K. Rowling puts them off because they don't know whether it's a male. They could search whether they're reading a book written by a man or a woman. I don't know what difference that makes. Does it matter to you, Beth, whether a man or a woman has written?
I think I was cognizant of J.K. Rowling's arguments about using initials so that she was, she's not obviously a woman. And her argument was that this might put boys off reading Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Obviously, I also, typical me, I did some research. I looked at a lot of fantasy authors. I noticed a tendency for Scandinavian sounding names, which is where Elsin came from.
Okay.
Basically, Elsinore, as in Hamlet's castle, with the end chopped off. And I did notice that there were a lot of initials, and I thought, yeah, okay. And always, of course, it's 2 or 3 initials. So I thought, well,
look,
2 B's.
Hello. Hello. So, my dog's outside the door. Tim had just come in with a takeaway, which arrived literally a minute. That's why I was late letting you in, Beth. So it's downstairs to be reheated at some point. And so the dog was, needless to say, more interested in the nice smelling food than he was in coming here and going underneath the table behind me.
Just get back to the names. It's a bit like Helen in the No Street Authors, isn't it? She goes under the pen name of A.A. Abbott.
Yeah.
Just to get the front of the queue.
Exactly.
So why didn't you go A.B. Elsin?
I didn't think to. I mean, now you've given that argument, it would have been sensible, but no, I just repeated the B.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think the spelling, because I've part of my battle, and I was saying to Beth, and she would have heard this before, I'm sure. I said it in a session you were in, Beth, that I've had a several year-long battle with Amazon, where if you search for books as Morgan with an E, Morgan Bailey, all the Morgan Baileys came up with a little blue link at the top saying, we're showing results for Morgan Bailey. Did you mean Morgan Bailey? And there's a tiny little blue, that's in a little blue writing. If you meant Morgan Bailey, click here. With some Google results, if you think you spelled something incorrect, they think you spelled something incorrectly.
Yeah.
And I was every few months I'd raise a ticket with KDP help and support and say, nobody's finding my books. I'm getting emails saying, I can't find your books. Where are they? They're not noticing this blue link. and I just got a blanket. We can't do anything about it. That's how it's been set up. It's helped the algorithms, blah, blah, blah. And this time, earlier on this year, I wouldn't let it go. So I was going to supervisor to supervisor to supervisor, saying, I know I'm losing sales. People are emailing me saying they can't find me. I have over 40 books, because some are duplicated, over 40 books with you, and people can't find it. I know I'm losing sales. And so they managed to get, I think it was a kind of shut me up kind of thing, was on .com. If somebody searches books by Morgen Bailey on .com, they will get my books. And the thing that hadn't occurred to me, because I write as Rachel Cavanagh as well as Morgen Bailey, I had Rachel Cavanagh as for those two books. Then as a contributing author, I had Morgen Bailey. So we would then both appear on our pages. And I woke up one morning, obviously gone to bed thinking about this, and then woke up and thinking, why don't I just put Morgen Bailey on as contributing author on all my books? And now if you type in Morgen Bailey, all my books come up.
Oh, right.
Even though they come up as Morgen Bailey, come up, they do appear. Because otherwise the only other option was then to do sponsored ads, which every time somebody clicks on it would cost me money.
Yeah.
And I thought I don't want to have to pay for Amazon not playing ball.
Your book? Crazy.
Yes, exactly.
Crazy.
So they said, we'll speak to our IT department. Maybe it's something we can look at in future. There we go. So as simple, if I'd thought about the Rachel Cavanagh Morgen Bailey thing months ago, so I did that about a month ago. It hasn't actually made any difference to my sales at all, because I think people still have to know the name to search for me. So
have you got a website then, Morgen?
morgenbailey.com.
Right. So what about your Rachel books? How do you promote those?
Well, I have a publishing company called August Publishing, because my birthday's in August, and I have a dog called Gus, which is part of the August. And so I am, myself and Rachel are the two authors on August Publishing.
Right.
So they are listed on, I don't have Rachel Cavanagh. Well, I do actually. I own rachelcavanagh.com and rachelcavanagh.co.uk, and they point towards morgenbailey.com.
Right. Okay.
And then morgenbailey.co.uk as well, and that points to Morgen Bailey.
So if somebody's searching for Rachel Cavanagh and it comes up Morgen Bailey, they go, oh, wrong site, click.
Yes.
Because I'm doing both Jay Seymour and John Moore. I set up a little company called Chapter One Publishing. So I didn't know whether to have chapter1publishing.co.uk, authors, me, and then sales would point to.
That's what I've done for August Publishing, but I get more spam. The spammers can find me, no problem. Every day I probably get half a dozen, up to half a dozen, anywhere between. There is one every day. Very few days I don't get any, where they say either a generic, dear author, or hello. I found your book and I think it's amazing, and we'd really like to help you. Etc. Not mentioned. So I have a really sarcastic, which when we get to the scammers and spammers and scammers,
I've got those.
Topic. I have a really sarcastic, and also authors who have so much time on their hands that, like Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games, except she couldn't spell her own name. She wrote to me as Suzanne Collins. I would like to touch base with another author and support each other. And I go, well, I'm sure the real Suzanne Collins has loads of time to contact authors she's never heard of. I get quite snotty.
I've had one this week, and it's from Alma, and it's in the United States this time, not Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
And it first, when did it first come in? 13th of April, the first one. Hello. Okay, I ignored it. And then few minutes later, I came across your book and I like the idea behind it. Are you already getting the kind of readers you want?
Right.
I replied, which book was that? Oh, I actually came across your page and saw you're into writing. That's what caught my attention. Are you currently working on a book or planning to publish one? So I replied, what page was that?
Right.
Oh, I came across your Facebook page while scrolling and saw your content around writing. That's what caught my attention. Which
Yeah.
Facebook page? Are you currently working on a book or planning to what? I said, what are you trying to sell me without you actually knowing what you're looking at? Please don't bother me anymore.
No, exactly. Well, at the end, I say, please, in bold, please remove me from your mailing list. I said, I only work with people who've been recommended to me. Please remove me from your mailing list. And then the last line, in capital letters, no reply wanted or required or wanted. And then just put my name at the end.
Well, I've done
And
that.
it's the copy and paste draft email. I just copy and paste every morning.
Then she came back and says, I remember where I get you contact. I get your contact. She corrected it on the second line on your Facebook profile because you add your WhatsApp to your Facebook profile. I reach out. Actually, I noticed something small that might affect how many people can actually see your books. Can I share? And it's actually free audit. I said, no, thanks. Again, bold letters. And then the next day, hi, Wiz. So she's found another one. I said, not you again. Please don't contact me again. Thank you.
No. Well,
you just have to block these people, or
I do, because I get it in through Gmail, and 99.9% of them are a Gmail address.
They are.
And one I get a lot from supposedly Wordsmith and Writers, which is a real group, but it's Wordsmith and Writers 27 or 493 at gmail.com.
There's a lot of spoofing. I mean, I know we're digressing from names, but I had a situation with Spotify. There was a bot account on there claiming to offer my book for free. And it wasn't anything to do with the book at all. It was spam websites. But finding out how to get Spotify to take it down was quite an effort. The Society of Authors did get me the right page on Spotify, and after about a week, they did do something. But there's all kinds of things, and they seem to be targeted at new writers, self-harm. And you just think it's a whole really criminal setup, because so many people part with money and they get absolutely nothing in return.
No, exactly.
I get them telling me that they'll do everything to help me and this, that, and the other. And I'm saying, well, I have no budget at the moment. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm not going to charge you, but if you'd like the thing anyway, I said, send it. I'll take a look. And to be honest, they have come up with some cracking ideas.
Right.
But I've actually said, no, it sounds very expensive to me. Bye-bye.
And then use the ideas.
Exactly.
Well, I have a bit in there when I have the paragraph about all the author, Malcolm Gladwell, Suzanne Collins, J.K. Rowling a couple of times. And at the end of that paragraph, I say writers have enough to deal with, have a tough enough time without people lying to them. Unless you can prove to me you are an author, a genuine author, I suggest you go and get an honest job. And then I never hear from them. And I do, as Beth says, once I've replied the generic copy and paste, I send it, and I put their name in quotes as if they're not a real person, which I know they're not, effectively. And so I then block them, so I know if they come through.
And back to the storyline of using pen names.
Let's do that.
There's a certain amount of defense in doing that, because you will be targeted by these people.
Yeah.
But it's less obvious what your real identity is for them to try and get at you other ways.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I get for the Morgan spelling, there are two authors on. So if you search for Morgan Bailey, they come up as well. And I think one is Morgan Lee, Leigh Bailey, Morgan. And so quite often I'll get oh dear Morgan, we've seen your book, whatever that title is, and spout on then. And quite often they'll and then I just go, it's not even my book. I have another book in there. And so it is you kind of think, I'm glad that my name is really handy because it can be one gender or the other. But it's just another thing you have to deal with, really.
Yes, I mean it's not really, I mean, having initials, I think, well, when you're writing books that might be enjoyed by both men and women, um, it it's handy, I suppose, to kind of give the message that this is not gender specific.
Yeah.
And there are so many names these days which are used both for boys and girls. We should, I suppose, really be getting away, apart from very specific women's romance fiction and men's, I don't know what kind of specific thing we could say was male fiction, but you know, in a way, it shouldn't matter. But
No. Well, back in the day because I came to writing in 2005, and back in the day, it was kind of frowned upon. It was very rare that in the women's magazines, and there was Women's Own, Take a Break still does it, My Weekly still does it, People's Friend, and so on. Because they were targeting a female audience, 99.9% of the stories were written by female authors. Only then do you find out for Facebook groups, there's one called WOMAG, right? WOMAG. Cool. Anyways, got WOMAG in the title, and that Facebook group for people who write for women's magazines, and there are a lot of men in there. And there's Ms. Lexia magazine, who their contributors are women, and it's aimed at women. And every now and then there'll be a letter in the near the beginning that says, "I'm a man and I read this magazine, and it's such a shame that you won't publish anything by a man." And I think it's a good time to be. It certainly hasn't happened overnight, but I think there's uh, less focus on whether a man is writing, a woman is writing a book aimed at women. Two of my romance panel on Sunday are men, to be two women, two men, and they write under. Well, one is Chrissy, and his real name is Chris, so he also writes as Chris Towns. I should remember. And come to me. And so he writes rom-coms as Chrissy Townsend. And the other chap took his grandfather's name and writes quite steamy romance. And I need to know by Sunday because I'm interviewing them. And so yes, I think it doesn't matter these days, but it's interesting that he chose a man's name. Although he chose a pen name, he chose a man's name to write books aimed at women, which I think is great.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly.
So, John, your pseudonym Jay, I mean, that to me, I would probably think it was male, but not necessarily. I'm sure there's some female Jays around.
I wouldn't think there'd be many. No, no. I just thought for the sort of adult stories, I wanted to keep separate from the children's. So John Moore, Jay Seymour, they probably wouldn't connect. My friends can connect. Oh, what you done there then? You know. Yeah.
Beth, you were thinking, did you say you had thought or you are thinking of writing a different name for your short stories?
Well, I think the boat has sailed really because I've got an anthology out there, so I probably won't. And as you say, it could get complicated if you've got kind of a great portfolio of pen names. So you know, I can see in hindsight that might have been a way to go, but I think I'm okay. But I mean,
the thing is,
people who read the short stories would probably see some parallels with what I do in novels.
Right. Because the thing is, I think once you've established, this is why newsletters are great. Once you've established a readership, they've finished your, say, the latest in a series, and they go, great, I want to read more of what you've written. And so, as John rightly pointed out, people won't necessarily know that I am also Rachel Cavanagh. So whether I'm missing out because I've got it under a different name, though you can see it on Amazon. So I think it's 50-50, I suppose. Do you use the advantage of using the same name is that people know that they enjoy your writing, they really like your writing, and they want more by you, and so they'll go and have a look and see what else you've got.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's trial and error.
It is. So do you have on Amazon, do you have your two names linked, John?
No.
Right.
No, they're just as John Moore and as Jay Seymour.
Yeah. And how do you market one or the other? You said you've got a website with them both on.
No, I've got a website just for the Whiz Wizards books.
Oh, okay.
whizwizards.co.uk.
Right.
So all those books will go on there. I haven't done anything with the perfume bottle or my next one.
Okay.
Currently, it's going to be a 3-part novella, if you like, because I can't write thick bloody books like that.
No.
Can't do it at the minute. So they're going to be about this thing, right?
Okay.
But there's going to be 3 parts.
Yeah.
And the idea is that, you know, if they like the one, they'll then buy part 2 and part 3.
Yeah.
And the things in part 3 which you won't understand unless you've read part 1 and 2.
Right.
So hopefully, but I'm going to market them on LinkedIn. I think the audience for the adult stuff is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I haven't had much response with the children's books on LinkedIn, but certainly Facebook. I'm just starting to look at Pinterest. I'm trying to build up some boards now.
Yeah.
To post. And I mean, they tell me TikTok, but I haven't done anything on TikTok yet. So I must do them.
I've had mixed, well, not really mixed results. I have had mixed results on TikTok because I thought because I'd heard it's a really good thing for videos.
Yeah.
And so I started off for 4 days in a row of when I was walking my dog, doing a video of anything that was not necessarily writing, but anything that was going on at the time. And I then spent, after the 4 days, as a bit of a trial, I spent 2 hours one evening blocking widowed army majors, any message that say you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I just thought, this is not why I want to be on TikTok.
No.
However, I had the first video I put on August last year and hadn't done anything for months thereafter. I'd got something like 400 and something views and no comments. I think lots of likes, maybe 200, got a lot of likes. but no comments. But I think you do have to, like anything, you have to spend half your life, half your free time writing, and the other half of your free time marketing.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a podcast guy because the book I'm currently writing, called Tattoo, I think would be a good podcast book to read a chapter, and then come back next week for chapter 2 and there's 15 chapters in the first book.
Right.
And I'm trying to write the 3 as an acrostic.
Yeah, where it goes down. Yeah.
But don't reveal it till the 3rd book, so they're going to have to go back and reread them to find the hidden message, you see.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm thinking if I could get a podcast going, it might be quite good. Yeah. And I belong to I call it a Friday hub meeting every Friday morning, which was it's based in Bridge North, the company, Good to Great they call it, because they tempted me to join because Dudley Council had got money to give away and they were going to give grants and this, and I thought, fantastic, I'm in. Yeah. And as soon as I joined in, they turned around and said, of course, because Dudley Council's bust, they've got no money.
Oh no.
But I've stuck around because they're nice people on there.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a guy on there who does podcasts, and I had a good chat with him yesterday.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he says, get one of your wizard books, go into the woods, get your camera, walk along and read it, sit on a log and read it, post it.
Lovely. Yeah, what a great idea.
Yeah, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I have a podcast. It's only literally 2.5 minutes on average, where it's called 300 Words a Day.
Right.
And it's only on Spotify, and I have one person following, which is a little soul destroying. Because I haven't really advertised it. It's mentioned on Self Pub Fest website, but I don't do any advertising for it, which I must. I have put leaflets for it in here, actually, to be fair. And I have 260 something episodes. But I called it 300 Words a Day because 300 words a day is 109,500 words a year. So it's encouraging, and each episode is a different writing prompt, and then splitting it out to the who, what, why, where, when, and how. Talking about to do with that prompt. So it's pretty short. And even more soul destroying is that Spotify have said, as I don't think they do any advertising for it. And they go, the average number of followers I can hope to get is 4.
Oh.
So I'm recording all of these and think a little bit kind of, well, will anybody ever find this? But apparently Substack, we're going into marketing territory now, but apparently Substack then, if you do it on Substack, it then churns out to various places, including Spotify.
I signed up for Substack, but I couldn't get my head around it, and I just left it.
Yeah, I get various Substacks in, including Alliance of Independent Authors, Orna Ross. I get hers. But the trouble is, I think, bringing it back to pen names, is my dilemma of I use 2 names. And so John, you've just answered this question, that do you advertise, do you have a website for both? Because you mentioned about one chapter publishing. How easy or time consuming it would be to market 2 names when you're using 2 names. But I totally get it, because you've got children's and adult.
Very different.
2 adult 2 adult genres.
That makes sense, yeah. The other thing as well is, if you do 2, you've got to keep up maintenance of 2 websites. John Moore, Jay Seymour, chapter 1. So I'm thinking, go chapter 1 and then branch out. Children's books, adult books.
Yeah, because that's what I've done with mine, August Publishing.
So when you're doing next, you can just advertise a link straight to the page link on the chapter 1 publishing without them having to follow the route.
Exactly.
I wonder why we feel encouraged to market our names as authors rather than the product benefits itself. It does seem to be that there is a lot of advice from publishers. Oh, you must have a website and you must do this and you must go and do talks at your local libraries, etc., etc. And obviously all these things are opportunities to mention books. But I think reading is very much a product-driven sale. It's true that some of us do develop favorite authors, but I think everybody I know who's a really avid reader has got a vast array of things, and so they obviously go looking for a product that suits a particular reading occasion or reading opportunity, like the books that you would get for going on holiday, the books that you might get for over Christmas. And I tend to have, 2 or 3 books on the go, depending on whether it's something that's got nice short pieces that can fit into small opportunities during the day, or whether I'm going to be sitting down for an hour and feeling okay about getting into a big chunky book.
I think that the trouble with social media as a whole is that so many, I belong to just under 600 Facebook book related groups, and if you go on any of them, it's all these people saying, I've got a new book out, or I've had a book out for 20 years and it's not selling, please go and buy my book. And it's very book focused. And I think that the advantage with non-fiction is that you're looking for something that can help you generally, whereas with fiction it's I could write 2 books that one person loves one but then really didn't enjoy the other one, and yet it's me and my voice. It's really tricky. And I think fiction is how many times have we heard that, oh, I got 20 pages in, didn't like it, I'm just, whereas you wouldn't with a non-fiction book, because unless it's really awful or it's not you bought it for a particular purpose and you've either learned everything you need to know, or you dip into the relevant parts, or you think actually this person doesn't know what they're talking about. But fiction's so subjective that it's tricky, and it's the difference, I think, as I would say we're early writers, even though we've been going for years. The fact that generally we have our name at the bottom, whereas Lee Child and Jeffrey Archer have it at the top. So they could write a shopping list on the back of a cereal packet and somebody would go out and buy it.
Well, look at that one I picked up from the library. Massive name.
Yeah. So it is really tricky.
Yeah. Well, my next book cover, I'm going to put my name first. I don't care if there's conventions that say you shouldn't until you've sold a certain amount.
Well, I don't think it matters. And your name is nice and short. That's another thing I've thought of. There was something I saw the other day where they had a really short first name and then a longer surname. So they had something like, I don't know, whatever it was, say Jack Forsyth. So Jack across the top and then Forsyth down the side. Because my name takes up half the cover. And Rachel Cavanagh is even longer.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So whereas BB Elsin is very clever because it doesn't, you can have it big on a spine because it doesn't take up much space.
No. I'm just wondering, Morgan, how many people are going to turn up tonight at the other group?
I don't know.
She's got a book launch on, hasn't she?
Yeah.
People are going to go there.
I don't think, yes, because that's nearly on in a minute, isn't it?
Yeah, a few minutes, yeah.
Yes. So, Beth, do you think you'll stick with BB Elsin ongoing?
I
might write something else.
I think I will. I haven't thought of any alternatives anyway. So,
well, they say judge a book by its cover, and I kind of think that really you can tell that's got a woman in it. It's because she's got a magnifying glass and a dog underneath. That it's the 2 of them, and it's a bit of a mystery. The one above it he's got a gun. so that's my hitman, and then underneath is a silhouette in a forest, in a murky forest. So that's my sort of darkest book. And whereas the other ones, and I think people should judge a book by its cover. So yes, but I'm quite fond of Rachel, so I really don't know. So John, will you stick with your two, do you think?
I think so for now, unless I write something totally bizarre.
Yeah.
I think
so you are targeting, although for the children's, you'd obviously be targeting adults as well, because certainly for a certain age, it's the adults buying for the for the children. But your covers are so I'm
trying to keep a theme going, you see, because there's a trio of wizards in every book, so I'll put a wizard on there, and then that could be the other one, the sorcerer or something. I haven't got the green one there, but the same title font, the same view, and it goes across the book.
That's
in the back. And I've tried to do the same with this one as well, which is the perfume bottle, and showing the moon, because the moon plays a part in it.
Right.
But book 2 of this, hopefully, will be exactly the same, but based on the moon. So it'll be a moon foreground and background, and then that moon will be the Earth.
Oh, okay.
So I tried to keep a theme, you see.
No, that makes sense to have two names, because you're targeting two different audiences. But I know men and women read all of my books. I know men who've read my serial data.
See, this one you can read as well.
Yeah.
Because I've put perfume strips in.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah. So I want to scratch and sniff when I get big.
Right. I remember those days when we had scratch and sniff.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got I don't know whether you were there when I said it last time. We were talking about this on the other side. I've got you remember Melanie, singer, American singer?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Well, she bought an album out called Inner City Gardens, I think it was, with a scratch and sniff cover, and it's like 50 years old. This album is, and I bought it, and I went, and you could smell the garden.
Wow.
So 15 years old.
That's amazing.
That'd be fabulous on a book.
So I think it's nice that we're all different, because John and I use two names, but mine's just genre. Beth is going to stick with BB Elsin very wisely, I think. And we just have to rely on people judging our books by our covers.
Yeah.
And getting them, and hoping that we do become, because one of my quotes is that I can't remember which book it's on now. That I think it's One for the Road. That I am a was a bloggers, because I haven't created anything for too long. That I was a blogger's new favourite author, which was lovely. But yes, we just have to keep going and hope that we become, through our newsletters and our networking, and people finding us here and elsewhere, that we will have our names at the top on a third of the book cover. And it doesn't matter what we write, because everybody.
And it all starts on Sunday.
Absolutely. Anyway, thank you, Beth. Thank you, John. Thank you. I'll see you on Sunday, Beth.
Yes.
And see you on the next one, John. We'll be in touch. Let me know if what you want to be involved with hereafter. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.